Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Heart of the Swarm campaign run on Rocket Rabbit Commentaries of StarCraft 2. We're doing the Ultralisk Evolution mission. Haha! Hey, Abba there.
Zerg inside. Can capture. Can use.
Minsk certainly wants to keep us.
That is a lot of ingrown defenses, Mr. Cloud. Would you ever set your defenses up like that?
No, that looks silly.
An Ultralisk. I can do a lot with this one. Hear me, Ultralisk. Break free. Fight to the door. Kill anything in your path.
Like this Marine. Stab. Stab.
See, he had dialogue. It was, ah! Ah!
Security Squad 4, what is going on in there?
Sir, we have a problem here.
It's rather giant and it's quadrupedal and it has more arms than we have guns.
Yes. For those of us just joining in, we are finally knocking on Manx's front door and even using the doorman and possessing his brains in order to destroy him from within.
Free those Ultralisks.
And also blow up all of their science facilities so that we can get additional Ultralisks.
Science!
Toxic compound released. Great potential. Bonding to Ultralisk sequences.
And this is one of the
shit,
best
here we
things
go.
about the Zergs. Behold the ability to use chemical warfare to our advantage.
Explosion damages enemies in target area.
I didn't sign up for this.
Charge! But yes,
Strain's
as
okay.
Pascardet, as Pascardet is saying, the Noxious strain is okay. It's honestly really good against these Marines, but Ultralisks are already really good against Marines. So it's not really relevant to how good it is against biological units.
Contain those festivals.
That's the big problem the Noxious strain honestly has. It's really still sick. It's really good against these large swarms of relatively weaker biological units, but it doesn't really help that much against the heavier mechanical units, which are what Ultralisks naturally struggle against.
Quick, apply your gas mask, gentlemen.
They don't have gas masks. They're not important enough to have gas masks.
Remember, you should apply your own gas mask before you help others apply their respective gas masks.
Yes. Charge!
Specimens freed. Proceeding to subsequent battleground.
Yes, subsequent battleground. Isn't that just the microcosm of all StarCraft?
Outskirts of August Grad. Military housing. Supply center.
Lots of siege tanks.
Facility must be destroyed. Experimental nuclear weapons produced within.
The bridge is guarded by Dominion forces. Move forward. Secure the passage.
Can do with these Ultralisks. See? More Ultralisks. Also, Ultralisks have the ability to destroy light fixtures just by standing next to them. It is very nice.
Incoming.
Very cinematic. And that's why they put 3 of them in the way, because a train of Ultras coming down will probably occupy the space required in order to destroy them.
Fire the damn warhead now.
But Arcturus, we don't know what it does.
Manx, are you getting angry?
Yes, he is. He fired a friendly fire nuke, which didn't do nearly as much damage as it was supposed to.
Analyzing damage. Radioactive compound infecting Ultras.
Oh, I sense a mutation.
Integrating
Yep.
with atrophied evolutionary path.
Which is stupid. That as early as the 1940s, that radiation was causing beings to become not weaker or dead, just better, stronger, faster.
Yeah. Welcome to our D&D reference, the Tarrasque. Now, how familiar are you with Dungeons and Dragons, Mr. Cloud?
Guns and Dragons?
No, Dungeons and
Oh,
Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, I mean, I'm somewhat familiar, sure.
Well, one of the most powerful monsters in Dungeons and Dragons and in Celtic lore in general was called the Tarrasque. The reason why it was so absurdly powerful in Dungeons and Dragons is because it had this terrible ability where you needed to bring it down to negative 40 HP and then use a wish spell to get rid of it. Well, here is why this Ultra strain is called the Tarrasque strain. Whenever our Ultros dies, it has the ability to regen back to full health under if it uses that ability within like once every 5 minutes or so.
Interesting.
It's why
know,
it's why I prefer the Tarrasque strain over the Noxious one. The downside to the Tarrasque strain is that these eggs eat up a lot of fucking real estate. But that's honestly their own. That's honestly the only big problem they have. They just eat up a lot of space.
So, on an unrelated note, steering away from the game, I think the myth of the science fiction lore of radiation making creatures stronger just by exposure to it. That's relative to other things that are around it. For example, insects and simple cellular structures are largely unaffected by radiation, where other things, like multicellular organisms, are devastated by radiation because they are simpler structures. So one could ascertain, and incorrectly so, that they are, like, made stronger because they thrive while other things die. Not unlike how in Resident Evil 1998, the movie, that they made the stupid mistake of saying that fingernails and hair continues to grow. No, that is the effect of the skin receding around it as the corpse rots.
Is that why lickers have such long claws?
No, lickers have long claws because they've been T-virus mutated.
Sequence returning to evolution pit.
But as Pascal already mentioned, yeah, we're going with the Tarrasque strain. It's just significantly better for our ultras to have a second life as opposed to a biological damage.
I agree.
Reading the lore, extremely resilient.
Uses energy to resuscitate tissues.
Evolution complete.
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Monarch blades.
Jurassic Park.
Yes, Tarrasque Park. Thank you, Mr. Cloud. Alright, but that is the last evolution mission that we've got. So now we must go on to what is one of the most difficult missions in the speedrun, Death from Above.
Begins at your command.
Except we're not actually going to Augustgrad this time, Zagara. Hey, Mengsk.
Kerrigan, look at what you have wrought. Thousands dead.
Only thousands?
For your revenge.
Their blood is on your hands, Arcturus. You made every part of this happen.
I have done great and terrible things, it is true. And I would again, to protect humanity from monsters like you.
But what about monsters like you, Arcturus?
But words cannot save you now.
Oh, I have other weapons.
Like what?
I just wanted to say
Oh, you know, like, what's his name? That guy that we were supposed to be saving in the first place, who was supposed to be dead. Yeah, that guy.
Ripping us apart from the inside. The field will quickly kill any Zerg who enters it.
Understood. Listen to me, all of you. The Dominion will launch an assault in a moment.
This is because they think they are winning. They are not!
To keep us from dealing with the Side Destroyer.
Yes, and we're going to let them think we're diverted. Zagara, you have the swarm. Hold the middle. Stukov, take a force and screen her flanks. And Dahaka, this is your moment.
My moment.
Uses this psi connection you share, but I do not have a psi connection. I will not need it.
Exactly.
Not at all, Mr. Dahaka?
I see, because he's closed off from Zerg Network, he can't be infected by that pathway. Very wise.
Yep.
What your Side Destroyer can do makes.
So what do you think about Dahaka, Mr. Cloud?
Is going to be torn apart.
He is cool.
We have to shut down this field
Yeah,
now.
Dahaka's pretty cool. At least that is the hope,
This
Miss
is the
Kerrigan.
central hub of the Psi Destroyer. We're going to bring it offline.
And of course, I am Psi Destroyer proof.
The
This is
Psi Destroyer
perfect.
uses power links to extend its range. Disable them, and the field will shut down temporarily.
My self-field poses
So how far behind am I, Mr. Cloud?
I will rip
I am at 9 minutes and 55 56, 57, 58.
Okay, I should be caught up now. Anyway, I'm still having problems with my VLC crashing because not crashing, but you know, going into static for some fucking reason. It's weird. Anyway, Deathworld Love is an interesting mission. I remarked on how it's one of the hardest missions in the speedrun, specifically because it's a bit difficult to parse out how much of what forces you need in order to deal not with these forces, because Dahaka could actually solo a majority of the soul sections on his own, thanks to his really good spells like Mend and Grab, but for the actual mission that runs alongside this, it is a bit difficult to parse out what you need and why.
Well, how convenient that a character that is going solo has the ability to recover its own health.
And the health of those around it. Mend is a great spell. It's not one I use on Kerrigan, but it is a great spell.
And this is why this is the one and only time we get to play as Dahaka.
Yep.
Because he is overpowered as fuck.
No, he's not overpowered, to be perfectly honest. Kerrigan is way more powerful than Dahaka, but this mission is built to let you utilize Dahaka to the best of his abilities.
The destroyer field is down. Prepare a hive cluster for combat.
Oh, look, an evolution chamber.
Power. The field will reactivate shortly.
Specifically, I'm going to crush the Dominion because the force that we start with is not actually all that big. The big thing that you have to worry about for this mission is the fact that the Side Destroyer, once it comes back online, will relatively quickly at first encroach on this position, and then rather slowly continue to encroach on this position. So it can be an iffy proposition to use the forces that you have correctly for this. I should not be taking out my entire force to clear out this starting encampment, but I am, because I am terrible at this game.
Come to oh, these fucking dudes with the arms and their swagger. Oh, they made me laugh. Well, as we come to find out in StarCraft is that just like in chess, I mean, you don't necessarily have to make the absolute textbook perfect move. You just have to complete the situation.
Well, for the campaign specifically. In the multiplayer, you absolutely have to make the absolutely perfect move, but you know, I don't know what that is because the multiplayer is scary and filled with real people. It is important during this first segment to take down a good portion of both this frontal base that is here and the base that is over to the right of our starting position, so that we don't have to worry about attacks whilst the Side Destroyer is recharging the second time.
We have 5 minutes.
And use Kinetic Blast on the Banshees. Also, the Side Destroyer will, in fact, take down the creep tumors that we spawn, which is annoying because it means that reinforcing for the later parts of the missions is slightly more difficult than it's supposed to be. Yeah. I should actually keep pushing with Kerrigan here, to be perfectly honest, because Kerrigan can wipe out both of these bases almost on her own, thanks to the Kinetic Blast.
Yeah, but that gets stale. I mean, we've been playing as Kerrigan the whole fucking time, so I mean, let's use like a combination of efforts just so we're not making the same moves over and over again.
But no, here we are pushing out with Kerrigan again.
No time like the present.
You can do it!
Yes, you can.
Make your peace.
Make peace with your gods.
No, for they do not have lightning powers.
Huh. Metals conduct electricity.
The swarm conquers all.
Zap the siege
Zap.
cannon.
Zap. Zap. Zap.
This is mostly me waiting for enough resources to actually max out the drone count on our base. on our bases so that we can, actually start producing real military units. Also, we need a Hydros den because we're going to want to do Hydros, Roaches, and Kerrigan as our primary
Your queen is under
offense.
attack.